folks along the road, just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gathering along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races.
Oh, it's back through Bartes!
1862 on a summer's afternoon, we took the bus from Bambras and she was heavy laden. Where we went along Collinwood Street, that's on the road to Bladen. Whoa, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gathering along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races.
Yes, people, welcome back to another video. John Sinclair TV back again. Of course it is, and I've got Toney with us. Good evening, Toney.
Good evening, John. How are you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just I wouldn't say a long day, but it's been a quiet day for me, which I think is good. And just get myself sorted for tomorrow. So I've got a long drive up tomorrow. So I've got travel loss for 2 nights. I got a good price, by the way. Something like 80 quid for both nights, which I think is
all right.
And
that's not bad at all.
And I've also booked one for November as well. November, I think it's November the 11th to the 13th, 80 quid. So that's right. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, quite cheap. The earlier the better. So
that's the way you got to do it, though, John. You got to do it in advance, because if you advance book stuff, you get double cheap. I mean, I try and advance book me train tickets when I'm coming up as well. So it's the best way to do it, John. Especially and holidays as well. Do it in advance, yeah.
You have to. I looked at holidays for next year, sort of thing, all inclusive in Turkey around this time of the year. 800 quid. That is absolutely flipping scary, but it is what it is. But there's the COVID. I want to get the money back.
It's all going up, John. Yeah.
Is there and the cost of living as well? I think they should drop their prices down, to be fair, because they're not having a good start for holidays as well. So drop your prices down. Drop your prices down. Guys, if you like the video, like what you see, hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button as well. And if you like the super chat is open as well. And if you like to become a member, then by all means become remember just as 99p as well. So if that's worth thinking about as well, and that'd be absolutely amazing as well. Before I start the match preview, Toney, I'm going to bring this up as well. This is a statement from our owner, right? I mean, I'm not going to go word for word, right? It's our first year as new owners, right? So Yasser Ramian, the guy, he does great work. Ramian, that's it. Sorry, Ramian. I'll pronounce. I get it, Rita.
Yeah, Yasser Al Ramian.
Ramian, brilliant. Make sure Paul don't listen to it, by the way. And goodness. So he's made a statement here. Right? I'm not going to read word for word. You can read it out for as well. Toney, what do you think of that statement, by the way? People can read it out for themselves online. So yeah,
it's classy, John. And you know what? It's refreshing to actually have a statement from the owner, because we never got this under Mike Ashley. We never got statements under him. So to have a statement from the owner, and to say, bear with us and things like that, it's absolutely classy, and it's exactly, what you expect from your own. Well, you don't expect it, but when you get it like this, you're absolutely buzzing, and it's just classy at the end of the day, and it's well done, and it just shows you how connected with the club they actually are. The owners, they're not distant from the club like some club owners are. At least these owners are close to the club, and that's coming from the chairman himself, Yasser Al Ramian, who's a big player for PIF as well. Does a lot of stuff, but I think it's absolutely brilliant, and it's just nice that we're appreciated as fans from the owners of the club. Because some clubs think, some clubs use fans as cash cows, basically, when we're coming through the turnstiles, when we're buying the food inside the ground and the drinks inside the ground, or or we're buying stuff from the club shops. You know, that some owners just think, oh, well, it's extra revenue coming in. But when it comes to the fact of the owner actually being close to the club and coming out with things like that, it just makes it feel even more special, because it's not just about money, it's about the collective thing. And they get the club. That's the thing, they get the club, you know. Some owners don't get clubs, you know. So, you know, some clubs have traditional history, and you see owners going in there and they don't seem to care about the history of the clubs. They're just, you know, they're only interested in how much money they can make. So when the owners do this, it's absolutely brilliant. And, well, all I can do is applaud the guy, because he's absolutely brilliant, and long may this continue.
Absolutely right. I'll look at the comment now, right? I mean, in the statement as well, I think Tony's, you're right, by the way, Tony, what he's saying. And he's made some kind words there. And he's saying that, if I look at it now, I'll say, like, there's still a long way to go, but each session is a building block towards our objective to challenge for trophies, both domestically and in Europe. The club we are also is made up of people who understands our long-term vision and who understands the patience and persistence that would take it to achieve those goals. And I'll tell you what, right, that is beautiful words of Yasser. And you know what it is, right? He gets the club, he gets Newcastle United, right? And let's be real, right? I mean, he cares. He does care.
He does, John. I mean, you know, you can have all these Amnesty Internationals and all these protesters saying they're not happy that we've got Saudi ownership, but that just shows you how connected to the club they actually are. And you know, whatever's gone on in the past in Saudi Arabia or any other country, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's what the now is. And the thing is, you know, Saudi Arabia are changing the way their culture is. I mean, you know, so but that doesn't get mentioned, you know, like women are allowed to drive now in Saudi Arabia, but you know, that doesn't get the news. They'd rather have something with bad press to put out about Saudi Arabia than all the good things they do, you know. So yeah, it's just absolutely brilliant. And it's what we've got as owners, you know. And you know that, and not only that, you know, they say about like the Saudis don't like women at the top of the chain, things like that. That's not exactly true. I mean, you know, they're happy for Amanda Staveley to front the club and run things day to day at Newcastle when Yasser's not there. If they were totally against women doing that, Amanda Staveley wouldn't be doing this. I'm sorry, but you know, so. You know, people who give bad press against the Saudis, I don't think it's justified, to be fair, John. They've done well for us. And, you know, we're looking to a bright future. And not only the club, but they're going to do developments in the actual area of Newcastle as well. So even better, John. There's probably going to bring more. They could bring more business to the Northeast, bring more jobs to the Northeast, you know. So, you know, there's always positives from something. And, you know, Man City done it with their owners. They've done the area up and things like that. They're going to do the same. We're a good business hub here up in Tyneside. So, you know, you've got like the Newcastle Business Park, places like that. And, you know, they could bring multi-million-pound business over from Saudi Arabia and have it based in Newcastle. So, yeah, I just think it's absolutely brilliant, John.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he also said as well, if I go back up a little thing as well, the first game after the takeover lived long in my memory. The feelings of pride of hoarding black and white scavengers through the stadium. The collective row of 50,000 people of views and unravelled. Let's atmosphere in St. Park on match day. I'll never forget the warmth of your welcome to my fellow board members and me on that October day. And all it is, Tony, right? You don't see Mike Ashley doing things like that. I mean, when you think about it, right? He cares, he gets it, he gets the football club, you know, and this guy is ambitious, just like the rest of us, and he does listen.
He does, John, absolutely. I mean, we all remember that time when Mike Ashley came on the TV. I think it was after a Super Sunday game we played when we'd not long come back up from the Championship. And I can't remember if we won or drew or got beat or whatever it was. But anyway, Mike Ashley stood in front of the cameras and he said, "Oh, well, yes, I will invest in this club while I'm still here." He never did, John. He never did. So,
It's all lies.
He stood on camera and lied on camera,
It's all lies.
The guy, Mike Ashley was nothing but a liar. And he showed the club up, John. He did. I mean, that time when he sat in Arsenal, when he drank that pint of beer within 30 seconds in the stands, how on earth did he get that pint of beer into the stands? Because you can't take that into the stands. So, and he thought he was one of the lads sitting with a Newcastle shirt on with the fans. He wasn't, John. The fans didn't like him because all he was interested in was his Sports Direct empire, and he was using Newcastle for free advertising, for his shops, for his brand, and the brand in Newcastle United didn't care. He didn't care about the brand in Newcastle United, but the owners we've got now care about the brand of Newcastle United. Care about the women's team, that they've brought the women's team into the club where Mike Ashley just didn't bother with the women's team. He couldn't give a monkey's tush about the women's team. But the new owners do. So that women's team's now integrated with the club. They're just special people. And I tell you what, I'm just looking forward to. And, I'll probably see it on the TV on Saturday, but you'll see it more in person. But I'm down to see on Twitter as well when they do put a tease out. I'm wondering if War Flags are doing a special for the anniversary of the takeover on Saturday, because if they are, that would be a great touch. And I'm sure they probably will. They will be doing something like that because they always seem to do something. So I hope they do an anniversary flag for the takeover or whatever they do. And I hope when I'm watching it on TV Saturday, I hope they show that part because I think that'll be absolutely fantastic.
Totally, you're absolutely right, man. I can't wait for that. I'm sure War Flags have got it all on that top as well. At the end of the day, I mean, they're quite good when it comes to it, well organised when it comes to it, and I'm sure it's going to be one hell of a party in that stadium on Saturday. Big up to Isla Coffee first. Hi to you, mate. How's it going? Absolutely fine. Jag, hope you're well too. Regular thing this, Jag, you're absolutely right. Big up to Luke. Where you been all this time, Luke? We have missed you, mate, but welcome back. I hope you're okay. Evening, guys. Can I just say a great statement from Raw Owners? Mighty Mag, you're absolutely correct. And I just beat us, John. Yes. And I'm here on. Good evening to Gareth. Hope you're okay and your wife and your family as well. And I feel for the West Brom fans, poor clubs, poor fans. I tell you what, though, Steve Bruce needs to be away soon. Because a clearly classy from the club. Nice read. Luke, absolutely right. Great announcement on Yasser Rumian. I got it right this time, Rumian. We're never used to see Ashley. Never mind, get a statement like that. You're right. Did anyone see that post where Amanda gave her tickets to pass to some school's children who couldn't attend to the Fulham game? I thought it was a fantastic touch, by the way, from Amanda. Didn't hear it, but yes, I know, and it's absolutely brilliant. Great touch from Amanda. She cares for our club. She really does, and we love her for what she does. Actually, milked the club to cash cow. He did. Actually had more fiestas than a town clock and future spike. Now he's gone. We will keep, build, and get where we all want to be and belong. I have to agree, mate. You're correct, mate. 1 year has passed so much, it's flown by, hasn't it, this year? Well said to Toney. Evening to Carl as well. Pick up to you, Carl, as well. Before we go on to the Saturday's game for the match preview, Toney, you mentioned off air that one of the fans on a tweet, right, saying that should we get Ashley back? And for me, I think that's utter disgraceful. I don't know who said it, but at the end of the day, I think it's utter disgraceful.
I think it's stupid, John. It's over. It's because as we're progressing as a club now, and when your club's buying big players, you're going to pay that little bit extra because there's more quality in the club. Now, some fans are being absolutely pathetic and stupid because they're saying, well, we don't want to pay £20 for a match ticket. That's far too expensive for the cup game. And wish Ashley was back because at least when Mike Ashley was here, it was only £10 a game. Well, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, whoever you are, you're a muppet because if you want Mike Ashley back at this club, then you want this club to go downhill because it will go nowhere it went nowhere under Mike Ashley. And even Keegan said when he left back in 2008, this club will go nowhere while that man is in charge of Newcastle United. And he was proved right as well. Now, do you know what? I can't get to a cup game because on a Wednesday, and you're probably in the same boat as me, John. But, you know, if I was to go to a cup game and it was £20, I couldn't care less, because at the end of the day I was getting a ticket, and I still think that's good value for money, £20 regardless. You know, but we had this back in the summer, if you remember, John, when they said if you go to one game it was £20, but if you went to both games it was £35. Do you remember for the two friendlies?
Yeah.
And we had Muppets back then complaining about it and saying, £20 too much and all this. You know, people need to get a grip, and they need to realise that at the end of the day, you pay for more success. And, you know, these people complain about like £20 and things like that, they need to realise, because if you look at it, like, say, for Chelsea, a friendly match back in the summer, if you're a Chelsea fan, you're paying £50 to go to Stamford Bridge. So if you're going to, you know, and you were getting two games at Newcastle for £35. So, you know, what's up with these people? You know, they're either just Muppets and totally stupid, or they're Mackhams in disguise because they're somebody. Because why on earth would you want Mike Ashley back at the club? I wouldn't want him back at this club, you know, in a million years. You know, the guy can go and buy another club elsewhere, but he's not coming back to Newcastle. Well, I don't think he would anyway, because he couldn't afford Newcastle now, because the owners would want a lot more than 300 million. That's for sure. But yeah, I just don't get it really. And you know, I just don't know who these fans are, but they're absolutely stupid. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Before going to for bring us up, I'll read Bowl Geordie's comment. Big up to you, Bowl, by the way. I'd love to get your first name. Good listen, Toney, even to you as well. Tony's absolutely right. I live near a sports direct major distribution centre in Derbyshire, and their shops did not promote Toon shirts. I had to hunt to find one. Summed it up beautifully. Summed it up beautifully. I'm going to bring this one up, Toney, yeah? The next one in, right? If I just get it up a second. No, that's not it. That's better. It's from Adam Crafton, right? I mean, I don't know if you've seen this, right? He said, right, be cool if he marked it by attending fans forum or taking questions from the media rather than letting the 10% owner or head coach take them. And he also added as well, if I could find it as well, Adam said, you might doubt that PF take on board different cultural values by connecting with a British football team, but there's conclusive proof of their buy-in because he's now capitalising club. Now, I think Adam there, all right, I don't know what he's on about, right? I really don't know what he's on about, but it seems to me, for what I'm seeing, Toney, and this is going to probably wind you up, right? He is taking a dig in Newcastle United on owner.
Yeah, it sounds like it, John. He's
taking a slide.
Yeah, he is. He's having a go. You know, and this is a thing though. We're not going to, you know, we're always going to have this, unfortunately, and we've got to get used to it. But you know what it is, John? I'm thick-skinned. I don't care. I don't care what people say, because at the end of the day, our club has been starved to success far too long. And this club back in the 90s, we were competing for the title. We were beating Barcelona in a Champions League game when Faustino Asprilla was scoring a hat-trick, you know. And back then, that was a very good Barcelona team, by the way. Let's not make no bones about it, you know. And then we had that European and that Champions League when we beat Feyenoord in the last game. Now, you know, we were the only team at the time to have won the last three games and get through at the Champions League after losing the first three, which was a major achievement. You know, and at the end of the day, all we want to see is our club do well. We're not demanding a club that wins everything. We just demand a club that tries. And, you know, the end of the day, it's all about us just wanting to see our club do so well, and that's what we want to see. And it just needs to, and people like this either just need to think before they write stuff or just don't write it at all.
Crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. And we are going to have to get used to it, mate. We are going to get used to it, and we all have to do things as well. But at the end of the day, Toney, right? I mean, you're right. We don't care. Let them carry on. Let them have a go at us. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? We got a takeover. Get used to it. Do you know what I mean? But if Adam Crafton wants to come on my show, right, and we discuss it sort of thing, all things Newcastle United, you know what? I'll be quite happy inviting Adam. So, Adam, if you're watching, mate, we'd love to get you on and we can discuss this. Do you know what I mean? We've invited people to come on. We had journalists came on before, Ben Jacobs came on, and Andrew Musgroves came on as well. We had Steve Rafe came on as well. And it's open, Adam. So you want to come on, my guy? Just we talk about it, yeah? But you're winding up the Newcastle fans up here, Toney.
Yeah, he is absolutely, John. I just want to share this before we go into the match preview. So we put this on screen. And it was funny, just as I was talking about war flags, this is a picture they've actually put up.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, preparation ahead of Brentford at home. Well, this was like from last week. 1 year on takeover cans. And that's one of the flags I've obviously got planned for the weekend. So we're looking forward to seeing with interest what this is going to actually look like when it's up. But, I'm sure that's just a little tease that they normally give you anyway. They always give you one little tease, but you don't see the full thing until match day. So I'm looking forward to seeing whatever they've got lined up for match day.
That looks good, doesn't it? That looks really good. They're preparing, and I'm so buzzing to see what they're going to pull out there, man. And it's going to be so exciting. Let's hope that they put the best flag out there for our owners and that. I'm sure they will do. And do you know what it is, Toney? The atmosphere at St. James's now is wonderful. Absolutely fantastic, mate. It really is.
Yeah, and do you know what it is? I mean, these guys do a fantastic job. They rely on donations, and I think they do a fantastic job. And what really annoys me more is when you see people who have, I haven't seen it as often this season now since last season, but when people are taking the flags home with them and you are like, why are you taking them? At the end of the day, these guys have got to buy this stuff. They've got to rely on people's donations to help them get stuff like this. And, it was mindless idiots taking them home. I don't know if they're doing it for a laugh. I thought it was clever or whatever, but it's not clever. They're there for a reason. They're there to get the atmosphere going. The players love it now. They come out the tunnel and the first thing they see is the flags and, and the banners. Go back to that Arsenal game last season when Arsenal came to St. James's Park. Bukayo Saka standing on the end of the at the end of the Arsenal team, and all he could do was look around. He was looking around the whole stadium. He was looking around every stand because there was flags in every stand and the banners, and he was just like looking as if to say, "Wow, never seen anything like this before," And that's an England international who who's a very good player, and and he's wowed by it. So every player who comes to St. James's must be wowed by our displays.
Well said, Toney. Totally. Oh, he's gone. Toney's gone. In a minute, he's pressed the wrong button there, people. I just go for the comments as well, by the way. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, please, people. And it'd be great to get 100 views and likes today, if possible. Thank you very much indeed. It's £22 to watch a Coventry City game. So Toon Plus are reasonable. And got one from Chris as well. Big up to you, Chris. 20 quid is good value for a cup game. Yes, absolutely right. And absolutely, Toney, we had 3 great FA Cup seasons in a row, 2 finals and the first semi-final. No wins, but maximum effort. We need that mentality once more. Do you know what it is? You're absolutely right. Do you know what? That's what we need to do. I love cup games. I love FA Cup games. I really, really do. I think it's so exciting. People are disrespecting the competition, especially the top 6 clubs, yeah? But you mentioned the FA Cup to Newcastle United. You know what? We love that competition. I love that competition as well. Do you like the competition, Tony, the FA Cup competition?
Yeah, I love it, John. I mean, I would like to see us do well in it, you know. I mean, we had them 2 finals we were unlucky in, really, you know. We come up against a good Man United team at the time. We came up against a good Arsenal team, you know, packed with likes of over Mars and that. And but you know what? To have got to Newcastle getting to 2 finals in 2 years, absolutely fantastic. That semi-final against Chelsea. Unlucky to lose that, I suppose, in some ways. But as Bobby Robson said at the time, it's that boy again, that Gustavo Poyet scoring against us and spoiling the party, because he always seemed to score against us, John, and it always seemed to be headers as well.
I agree, man. Absolutely right. And I'm with you, Tony, all the way there. And I thought you were going to say something there, Tony. Sorry, I didn't disturb you. Go on, carry on, Chris.
Sorry.
Carry on.
Yeah, no, but yeah, no, I mean, Gustavo Poyet used to always be our nemesis, didn't he? You know,
He did.
We've had a few players against us who, you know, have always been ones to score against us. It always happens. There's always a player that has a favourite team to score against, you know. And
I know.
we always seem to be Poyet's favourite team, didn't we?
Every single time. But he didn't score against us at White Hart Lane, because we won by 3-1, and also by 1-0 as well. And he went for a 50-yard lob over Given, and Given just about got there as well. But you know what? At the end of the day, he's been a nemesis. He's not a good manager, so I can't lie. So I've got comments says, well, Chris Banks saying War Flags has been a huge success. I could read NSC on War Flags 4. Yes, and a coffee. I think people will take the flags home thinking this is National Day somewhere there. It is wrong. War Flags are the owners of the flags and pops. Absolutely. Can you see at least a semi-final in a cup this season? If we play the strongest teammate, anything can happen. We've got to play a strong side.
Can, because if you remember the predictions that we did at the beginning of the season, I said we were going to win the Carabao Cup, John. So
you did. We need to play a strong side.
Yeah.
But I'd rather play a strong back 4. And then what you do after that, you just pick and mix it there, sort of about a strong back 4, by the way, as well. But I'm sure there's going to be big changes as well. What do you reckon about Craig Benning's statement before we go on to the match preview? It's been half an hour now. What do you think of Craig Benning's statement? Love that guy when he played for us. A cracking playing in Sir Bob's era. And also, Jag loved him, and Mag loved him as well.
Yeah, he sort of hit out against. Do you remember the radio show, John, The 3 Legends? With Super Mac, Eric Gates, and Bernie Slavin. It used to be on Century Radio, and then it changed to Real Radio, and then it finished 10 years ago, 2012, because they said there was online forums and all this now, so it was sort of going to kill it off, and the ratings weren't high for it, so that's why they got rid of it.
Right.
I used to love that show, John. I used, every night at 6 o'clock, I used to tune in for that show when it was on.
Yeah.
I think it was on a Thursday, or I can't remember what day it was now, but when it was on, I used to tune in for that show, John. I've been on there a couple of times, supporting Malcolm. Absolutely brilliant show. I used to love it. I used to always make sure I was tuned in for that, because I used to get home from work and I used to quickly have my tea, and I would say, right, okay, now I'm going to listen to the radio, because I'm going to listen to the 3 leg ends, as we used to call them. Yeah, okay, I can see where he's coming from in some parts, because he's saying, well, fans were being very critical, about but that's part of life. I mean, the thing is, we do this, we do this on YouTube. Not just us, but there's other channels out there as well. Other like Newcastle channels like Tune Review, you know. And the thing is, though, if we aren't happy with how a player plays, we're going to criticise that player and say that player wasn't great. I mean, I did it the other week when Murphy, not Saturday gone, but the week before, our Bournemouth game, when I said he was absolutely woeful against Bournemouth when he came on. And if a player doesn't play well, I'm going to speak out and say no, that player didn't play well. That player was useless. If the player plays great, I'll say yeah, I'll hold my hands up like I did on Saturday. Jacob Murphy, I thought had a good game on Saturday. Okay, his crosses weren't there, but he had a go, and he slipped Willock in for that to set that cross off for Almiron for the fourth goal. But you know, if players do well and they've had criticism in the past, I'll give them I'll give them good marks. But at the end of the day, I won't hold back and saying, oh well, this player's not done that and this player hasn't done this. So yeah, of course, but I can, like I say, I can see where he's come from, but I think it's a bit of a stupid statement if you ask it, because people go on now and criticise the players anyway. So I don't see what difference it was from back then to what it is now. You know, so I don't get it. But although he has said he absolutely loved being at the club, by the way, so you know, and I believe Bellamy did love the club as well. Just didn't like Graham Souness.
No, I didn't. When he was appointed as manager, I thought, oh my God, I mean, how weird, man. Blackburn Rovers couldn't wait to get rid of him. Blackburn could not wait to get rid of Toney. He's going to get a sack anyway, and they got him as well. And I'll tell you what, for me, when he came in, he's tore the sort of dressing room out. He wasn't manager. He has tore the sort of dressing room out, yeah? Let's be real. And it's just not good enough. But he was a poor manager. He's done 52 million quid. He left when we were sixth and bottom. Glenn Road has to come in and pick up the mess as well. Got us in the total cup as well. But at the end of the day, you're right. I mean, there's so many forms there as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like I say, you got Porter Review, you got Loaded, you got myself, you got people like the Football Terrorist, Lee Gunner, all those as well, sort of thing, you know what I mean? United Review and God knows what as well. So,
I mean,
go on.
Sorry, John. I mean, do you remember the fight between Boyer and Dyer on the pitch?
Yeah,
against Villa. Obviously, that wasn't obviously caused by Souness at the time. That was between Dyer and Boyer because they had a bit of conflab in training as well because they weren't Dyer wasn't passing, so and that's what set it off that day because Dyer should have passed, and I think Boyer would have been in or something, and he didn't pass it.
Exactly.
And lost it. So it just escalated in the middle of the field, and then they just got into a fight where they were ripping each other's shirt. Apparently, I mean, you know, when you think about it, as a manager, you should be above your players to command the respect, but also you should be better than what the players are. So, do you know what I mean, John? By that, saying better than the players.
Yeah.
But not Souness. So, soon as them two walked in the dressing room, he said to them, right, come on, take me on. Come and take me on now. Then if you're that good at fighting, come on, I want you to come and take me on. Sorry, as a manager, you don't do that.
No, you don't. You just don't do that. That is absolutely
pathetic.
Shocking. Unless you're Brian Clough. You're Brian Clough. Really, then he's one in a million. You can get away and saying that because the guy's won things, yeah. But Graham Souness, I'm sorry, you just don't come up and say that. You just don't. Because you're going to lose the players as well, doing that in the dressing room as well. You lose the dressing room, you lose the fans, you are done. You're done out of there. Simple as that. But you're right.
Didn't Fergie do the same with Beckham when he kicked that football boot and hit Beckham in the eye? And after that, Beckham left, didn't he? So, yeah.
Shipped off to Real Madrid. Exactly. Yeah. Shipped off to Madrid. So, we go through his comments then. We're going to go on to the game as well for Saturday. Great as ever, John. Absolute favourite YouTuber. Yes, thank you. And call us Steve. We call you Steve, mate. So, big up to you, Steve. Thank you for that, my guy. Don't forget to hit the likes, guys. Thank you very much indeed. I might get to be back with Clivert at an event later this month. If you do see him, please get into comment, be sure. And great show on Radio 6 p.m. Gatesy and Core. It was fantastic. I mean, Malcolm. We have people like Eddie, Alan, and all these people as well, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Oh, great fun. You and Toney do a great stream. And when Macy Jones only adds to the knowledge, what a team. Cheers. I tell you, when Macy's a Newcastle fan, right? I'll tell you something, right? would be amazing. Do you know what I mean? We've put Mason on there. She is, for me, she's a favourite YouTuber. And let's be real, she's supposed to be on the team, but I respect Macy hugely. I didn't ask Macy to come on my show. She asked us on a DM she'd love to come on my show, and I got her on there. Remember the first show I did, right, with her? She chatted for about 15, 16 minutes. I didn't even get a word in. That was one of the best ones, you know what I mean? And Billy said, like, wow. I just said, wow, because I didn't get a word in. There you go. I agree with Toney and Jag. Great Brother could start arguing in a phone box. That's true. She has views of two of them who were fighting, especially seeing the Newcastle shirt all ripped up. Yeah, people say because they care. Well, for me, we were losing. Big up to Sefton, by the way. I'm in pain with a broken toe. Get well soon, my guy. The morals of the text is don't kick a small ball in bare feet for the dog and kick in the corner of the TV cameras. You are absolute wow.
Ouch.
You know, ouch. Get well soon, bro. And just take your time. Right, we're going to go into the game on Saturday, right? Newcastle against Brentford at St James's Park. And this is the team which I think we'll probably go with. And if I just get that setting, Newcastle, we go to Brentford very soon. We say Pope's going to play in goal. The back four will be Trippier, Byrne, Botman, and Shah. The midfield three will be Joe Linton, Bruno, and Willock. And the front three, we say ASM is going to come back in for Murphy. Miggy is definitely going to start on that game. And Callum Wilson's great to see him back as well. He'll be leading the line from front. I love to see ASM come back. According to Craig, hope that ASM will be in the team on Saturday. Will it be from the start? Will it be from the bench? We know tomorrow from Eddie's press conference. Toney, if it's right, it's great to see Alan back.
Yeah, absolutely, John. But my only worry is he's not. Is he 100%? That's the thing. Even if he is 100%, is it a risk to start him, or would you put him on the bench and maybe give Elliot Anderson say an hour and then bring Maxi on for half an hour just to get his match fitness back? But there again, you could always give Maxi an hour and then take him off and put Anderson on. There's options there. But yeah, do you know what? I just hope it's a carnival day on Saturday because of the anniversary of the takeover, the canniversary, as we call it now, the canniversary, not anniversary. And I hope we go all guns blazing on Saturday, and I hope we go out there and smash Brentford. And that's no disrespect to Brentford. I mean, I was there for Eddie Howe's first game. Unfortunately, Eddie Howe weren't on the touchline because he had COVID, so Jason Tyndall was standing, and we drew that game with Brentford 3-3. Yeah. Back then, we made some serious errors, which led to their goals, which, Garlow was at fault for one of the goals from Toney. If there had been Dubravka, that would have probably been saved, if I'm honest. Lascelles was at fault for a goal as well. So, yeah, I just fancy us to get 3 points because I think the players will be up for it, knowing it's the year anniversary. And then... and they're at home as well. So I think the players will be up for it. It wouldn't surprise me if Isak's sitting on the bench as well. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But we'll find out more, I think, tomorrow from Eddie Howe on the likes of Isak and St. Maximin. But I expect that to be the lineup we'll go with, unless he changes Byrne for Target. I don't know. He might bring Target back in and put Byrne on the bench. Eddie has this tension to rotate the squad. So, not that it's a huge squad to rotate, by the way. But, no, I'm still sticking that we're going to win on Saturday 3-0.
Absolutely 3-0 for you. Okie dokie. We got one from Mighty Mad 9. Can see giving Brentford another smashing like last weekend. Brentford played decent football. I fancy 3 points, but it wouldn't be a surprise if Brentford spoiled the show. That's from Gareth. Big up to that coffee booth on the left-hand side. On that formation, 3-1. ASM could be coming back. Toney reckons he could be either uncertain as well. I remember you struggled to sign Ben B in January. I didn't know that at all whatsoever, but Ben B is a decent defender, and he's a brilliant defender for me. And big up to Sefton. What a brilliant email and statement from the club this year. I can't believe it's nearly 12 months since the Cairns Champions got opened as well. Do you know what? I was in Cardiff and just outside of Cardiff, I heard the news. I've gone with yes, celebrated. One that's come and saying, what's this about the takeover? Blah, blah, blah. Because she's a Cardiff City fan. So listen, end of the day, I mean, it made my day. It really, really did. I didn't go to the gym that day. And let's go on to the Brentford side before we go back to Newcastle. We see that Raya is going to be in goal. The back four is going to be Aya, former Celtic defender, Sanka, me, and Henry. The midfield three will be Jensen, Janelt, and Da Silva. I like Da Silva, by the way. I think he's a decent player. I like him. And then Breno, Toney, and former Sampdoria, number 10, Damsgaard. That front three there absolutely looks fantastic. Toney, we know what Toney's all about. And Birmingham with his pace and power on the right-hand side, I think he's decent. The midfield, like I said, Da Silva, he makes things happen in the midfield. I think Ben Mee defends properly. When he defends properly, he defends properly. And the key man tomorrow for me on Saturday is going to be David Raya. Totally, I rate this keeper very, very highly. He's the Spanish international goalkeeper, I rate, and he deserves a bigger club than Brentford.
Yeah, I mean, he was at Blackburn, then he went to Brentford. He's a talented goalkeeper.
6 foot.
Yeah, unfortunately, can't get in our team because we got Nick Pope. So, but yeah, I'm surprised he's not in a bigger club, if I'm honest. But there again, Brentford are doing well, so they don't need to sell any players. They're not in trouble or anything financially, so they've got no reason to sell any players. And I suppose it would take a big offer probably to take David Raya anyway from the club. The same with probably Ivan Toney. Especially if he goes on a scoring spree and scores 15 to 20 goals at the end of the season, then I think it will take a huge amount of money to get rid of Ivan Toney. So, I can see David Raya being a tough one to beat. But, if we're up for it and we're attacking, who knows at the end of the day? Could be more than 3-0, John. You never know. But yeah, it's not a bad lineup. I mean, I remember when we were in for IF from Celtic as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's because, again, and this is where I say about people who say, oh, we want Mike Ashley back, but he wouldn't pay the money for him. So, the player went to Brentford. And yeah, Ben Mee, I don't think we sort of struggled to get him in January. I just think we looked at him, but I don't think we went for him because he was on a free in the summer and Burnley didn't want to sell him anyway. And then I think he got that injury as well. So he was out for a while and he was assisting on the coach and stuff. But yeah, he is a good defender, Ben Mee. You've got to watch him at corners. But then we've got Botman, our Rolls Royce, who he should never ever be dropped again. And I hope he's never dropped again, John, because it just proved last week when he come back into the team, how much Botman had we missed to him against Bournemouth. He was absolutely fantastic, John. He's got better and better with every game he plays. And all these fans from other clubs who are saying, oh, Botman, he's not going to be up to it in the Premier League. He's going to be too slow. Well, I'm sorry. He's starting to prove you all wrong now. And it won't surprise me if he does go to the World Cup and he's ahead of Van Dijk, because I think he's a better defender than Virgil van Dijk. I think Van Dijk is on the way down now, on the decline, because the mistakes he's made this season for Liverpool have been absolutely horrendous. And I think I think his career's now on the decline. I don't know if he looks. I don't know if to you, John, but with Van Dijk, does he look a bit leggy or a bit slow? Because he doesn't look the Van Dijk that I've seen in the past. And I think he's a fantastic defender, by the way, Virgil van Dijk.
Mm-hmm. He's still a fantastic defender, but he's not shown it since that tackle from Jordan Pickford. Is it Jordan Pickford who took him out? I could be wrong. I don't think he's been the same defender, to be fair. He's not been the same defender. The guy is, 29, 30? I think for me personally, I think he made it a different challenge from the Premier League. Because you just mentioned there, Toney, he looked a bit slow as well. On this day, he's one of the world's best. But this season, he's been found wanting at the end of the day. So let's put it this way. Trossard would not score a hat-trick against Botman. There's no way Botman would have sorted that out in no time whatsoever. But the one thing I'm going to say about Botman as well, has he really been tested? For me personally, he's a decent defender. I want to see what he does against fast strikers. So it's going to be trickery and skillful. See what he does there, Toney. I've not seen that from him yet. Yes, he looks comfortable when he gets the ball and without the ball, but I want to see him do something when it comes against pacey, skillful players. That's what I want to see from him. Do you know what I mean? But don't get us wrong, Toney. I think he's brilliant. Let's see what he does against quick players like this one. Go on.
Wasn't he tested against Manchester City though, John? You know.
And, yeah.
And
true.
you know, he didn't have a bad game against.
Not at all. Not at all.
Bad game.
Not at all.
And I just looked at Van Dijk. He's actually 31. Van Dijk.
He's 31 now, isn't he? Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Well, wrong side of 30 as well. But look, at the end of the day, right, he has not had a good season at all, Van Dijk. He hasn't. Look at the goals conceded. We should have beat Liverpool, by the way. That, again, I will say, that goal from Isak's second goal was not offside. I'm sorry, it wasn't. And they need to look at that again. But it's gone now. We can't do anything about it, Toney. Can't do anything about it. Let's go on to comments. Did Brentford get a replacement for Ericsson? Yes, they got Damsgaard from Sampdoria. That's his replacement by the looks of it. I might be wrong, but if all the stuff goes our way, we might end up being 4th or 5th position a little earlier. But if we can keep this pushing, that'd be brilliant. I'll come on to the statistics in a minute. I've got a point as well. 4-0 home win from Sefton. Exciting times. Hopefully injuries on a factor. Yeah, 3-1 win to Newcastle. Keep ourselves away from the team. Good evening to Gary as well. Hope you're okay. I was going to say, right, that if you look at our home form, Toney, it's not been great. We're only on one home game. We've drawn too many times, and we need to start winning on home games. But at the end of the day, right, if we win on home games, Toney, we'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, John. I mean, we're unbeaten at home this season so far. Yeah, we probably should have beat Man City when we went 3-1 up.
Yeah.
Had we got that penalty before half time, that could have changed the game as well. So, but yeah, we need to start winning more though than drawing at the moment. Too many draws.
Yeah, man.
Although I never complain about a draw because it's always a positive. It's a positive. It's a point. If we're getting beat, that's a negative. So you got to look at the positives. A draw is always a positive, you know. It might not be a great thing to have a draw, but it's always a positive. So you get that point, and it's a point further you get up the table. But no, we need to go on a run now and win some home games, and you know. But what I want to see is us making St James's a fortress again, because for too long it's never been that fortress for a long, long time, John. I don't even think since Mike Ashley was there, it was ever a fortress, apart from that one season under Chris Hughton in the Championship when we were unbeaten at home all season. But bear in mind, that's in the Championship, and that's not the Premier League. But still, it was a hell of an achievement by Chris Hughton, you know. I think a manager who was unfairly sacked, by the way. But yeah, I just think, yeah, we need to start turning these draws into wins now.
We do.
But we need to start scoring the goals. So we need to score more than one goal. That's the thing. And we need to score one more than the opposition as well. So if we can kickstart that on Saturday against Brentford, then happy days. I'll be happy with that.
Absolutely. I'm with you 110%. We need to score more goals and win games as well. Just for injury news as well, Emma Craft is still out. Isak could be sub. I mean, Eddie Howe says he's playing on the pitch as well, training, so we'll find out. John Joshua's not very far away. Carl Darlow, Matt Mitchell both out, and ASM is doubtful. For Brentford, Christian Norgard, Keane Lewis Potter, and Pontus Jansson are all out, and Ethan Pinnock is doubtful, but according to Thomas Frank, he could be back in the team on Saturday. Maybe it's a substitute bench. Let's go on for some more comments as well.
By the way, John.
Yeah.
Man United have turned this game around. They're now winning 3-2.
What a game in Cyprus, man. What a game.
2 from Marcus Rashford and 1 from Anthony Martial. They were Man U were 3-1 up, and then they've just pulled a goal back.
Wow. What, that's some game. Absolutely some game. But let's hope we get a win on Sunday week. While I'm in Turkey, I'll be in Turkey for that game. So it's what it is. 3-1 to Newcastle. If Botman gets dropped out again, I have no issues with that. We have options. I'm definitely not giving any centre backs who's credit playing against 10 men for 85 minutes and Mitchell injured after 25. That's fair enough. That is fair enough. But we have to beat teams also in front of us. We got the 3 points, but I can see where you come from, Foxy. And we were robbed at Liverpool. And this one, October's looking good for points. We've got Everton and Villa at home, by the way, as well. I'll be missing the Everton game because they're on a midweek game. I'll still win Turkey. I cannot believe how far we have come in a short period of time and what conversations we are all having, not expecting, but relaxed and optimistic instead of worrying and frustration. That's in Jag. That's kind words there, Jag. Kind words there. Just hope all the positive predictions don't backfire on us and end with another Bournemouth results. I'm still back into the home window. Good man, Gav. Good man. The thing is, though, right, we need to be answering their questions, Toney, on Saturday. I'm sure Brentford's going to ask us a question where they get the ball. We got to come up with the answers. We come up with the answers and win, and we'll be winning the game.
Yeah, I mean, the confidence should be going throughout the squad now because we won 4-1 last weekend away. Bearing in mind this is away in London at Fulham. We seem to be doing well at Fulham at the moment, but yeah, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we carry this winning form on and carry on scoring as well. That's the main thing. And I believe Eddie Howe's probably got them in training this week, and he's probably said to them, look, we need to 100% go out there, put some goals in, win the game, and win a home game as well, because it'll be our first home win since the opening day of the season against Nottingham Forest.
100%. That's what we need to do. Get the goals in. Scoring goals wins these games. And that's what we need to do. We should not be scoring enough at home. That is the worry. I don't know if some of the players are feeling the pressure, but that's what we need to do. Win at home, carry it on. Carry it on like we did last week. You know what I mean? 1-4-1.
Yeah.
Carry it on. Carry it on. So we're going to go with the predictions all for this game. And I'm going to quickly talk about Trippier and Callum Wilson. For me, I'm going to go with a 3-1 win for Newcastle here. We are going to carry it through. And look, I expect Callum Wilson to score 2 goals if he plays in 90 minutes. And I've got a feeling that Bruno's going to score as well. So I'm going to go 3-1. Ivan Toney will probably get an equaliser, but I still think Newcastle will be too strong on their day. But Brentford will create chances, by the way, Toney.
Yeah, without a doubt, John. I mean, they're an attacking side. You know, they have got some quality in that team. You know, I mean, Janel's not a bad midfielder either. Josh De Silva, who used to play for Arsenal, he's quite a cracking midfielder, to be fair.
He is.
But I've also got the left back as well, Rico Henry, who can score goals as well, and he's not a bad player either.
Bombs forward.
So they have got quality around the pitch, but we need to nullify that and stop that threat. And if we can, we'll win that game. And I'm still going 3-0, John. To be honest with you, because I can see we're winning that game 3-0. I think Bruno will be on the score sheet, and definitely Wilson. And if Isak's on the bench, I reckon he'll come off the bench and score as well. Be great to see the 2 strikers getting goals, won't it? So, yeah, I'm going 3-0. And just quickly going back to last week's game, now, that pass from Bruno over the top and Miggy's goal.
Yeah.
Now, brilliant goal. Not just the skill from Miggy, though. It's the skill that Bruno done with that pass into Miggy to create that chance for him to score that fantastic goal. But have you noticed, John, since that goal's gone in, nothing's been said about it. It's never been highlighted all over the place how good that goal was or anything.
No.
But if that was Man City, Man United, Liverpool, if that was, say, Diaz had put that ball over and Salah had scored a goal like that, it would be, or even on the Monday Night Football, Mo Salah, what a great goal. Luis Diaz, what a sublime cross for him. And he's put that in the back of the net. Oh, what a fantastic goal, you know. And they would have waxed lyrical over it, and they would have, you know. But because it's us, it's just like, all right, okay, it's a great goal and that's it. And it's just, you know, at least Alan Shearer had the guts to say, well, it's probably too early to say, but it's probably a contender for goal of the season. We'll probably win goal of the month again, John, because we've won August and September's goal of the month. So let's make it a hat trick and win October's as well. But who's to say we don't score another goal a month on Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nick Pope's been goalkeeper of the month and twice in a row. I mean, that should be goal of the month for me. That Miggy's goal was absolutely brilliant. What you just said there as well, had it been someone else like, say, Bernardo Silva or Kevin De Bruyne played the ball over the top of Orland and he finished it off, sort of, and that we've been talked about for weeks and weeks and months and months. But for us, because it's Newcastle United, they don't care. They don't care about Newcastle United. They do not care. I hope if we win on Saturday, right, I suggest look at the table, right, look where we are and how far we have come, right? And let's hope we stay 5th or 6th turn of January and tell Lee Madison, not Lee Madison, is it Lee Madison, isn't it? Leicester. James Madison.
James Madison.
Lee Madison's former Peterborough player. Like James Madison, ask him, look where you are in the league, look where we are in the league. And you have a little think about it. You can push us on to the top 4. Cool. That would be amazing. You want Champions League football, don't you, James? Come to Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? But we've got a good team there. We've got a strong back 4. We don't concede many goals at all, right? We only conceded no more than 2 this season. We have got a great defence at Newcastle United, and that is very unheard of. Newcastle don't normally have a good defence, but we have got a good defence, man. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's there. It's absolutely there. So,
I mean,
they need to put
Botman and Shaw.
Yeah.
Sorry, John. Botman and Shaw are as good as what we had back in the 90s with Peacock and Albert. They were a hell of a centre-half pair, and Peacock and Darren Peacock and Philip Albert. And Shaw and Botman are on par with them too, you know. Even Steve Howie was a great centre back, considering the guy was a centre forward, and Keegan transformed him into a centre half. And what a centre half he was as well.
Wasn't he just? And no feels about him. He just gets on with his job. Do you know what I mean? And that is Steve Howie all over. And he's quite good media as well, by the way. And he's pretty good on BBC Newcastle when he does come on take phone calls as well. Jack, hi John and Toney. Looking forward to the Brentford game. 4-0 to the tune. Mercedes sponsors by me. Thank you very much indeed. I'd take that all day long. I'll go to Nurse Mercedes, yeah. I'll ask him to get sponsors on my channel as well. Thank you very much indeed. Callum with a hat-trick. 3-1 going for Gordon. 3-1 goals from Bruno Botman, Joe Linton. And Jack saying 3-2 to us. Brentford group still inside. He's going 3-1. Newcastle Saturday. Thank you. If Salah scored, Miggy scored, they would give him the Ballon d'Or. Exactly. It sums it up, doesn't it? Spurs should beat Brighton. It's going to be tough. I've got Brighton to beat Spurs by 3 goals to. Checkouts on Macy's channel at 8 o'clock. I'll be on there. Depends how Brentford set up. If they defend, they'll probably finish 1 season. We have to prove Saturday that we can break teams down where we dominate possessions and take our chances as well. Haaland, very strong contender for Ballon d'Or. Wouldn't surprise us. That guy's been absolutely amazing. Who was the last Newcastle player to be shortlisted for the Ballon d'Or? I can't remember. Could have been Shearer. It might have been Shearer. It definitely wasn't Michael Owen, but I think Shearer, but didn't. It's a hard one. It's a hard one as well.
Yeah.
It's a hard one. There's only 9 likes. So guys, hit the like button. Thank you, man. Please hit that likes, yeah? Please hit the likes. Porsche, there was a discussion brought up by Billy about who were the best centre-backs parents in Keegan's team. Albert, Peacock, or Shaw Botman?
Albert and Peacock were different. They were a great centre half pair, and them two were. I mean, Peacock first goal against Man U, finished off the 5th goal. That lovely juicy lob over Schmeichel from Philip Albert. And don't forget, Philip Albert scored one of the goals of the '94 World Cup when he went from his own half and danced right through the defence and scored in the opposition half. I can't remember who it was against now, but I remember that goal when he scored for Belgium.
Right. Not sure what it is.
Wasn't Saudi Arabia, was it? I don't think so.
I'm not sure. When was this? Is in the World Cup or?
Yeah. 94, I think it was.
He's done it again, didn't he?
He did. He'd done it a few times. Yeah, he was quite.
Yeah. I can remember that sort of thing. It was some good. That wasn't a move to Newcastle. Because if I'm honest with you, I mean, Marseille, was it Marseille? Well, no, it's Fiorentina won them as well, didn't they? But he chose to join this as well. But
On the Ballon
Fiorentina,
d'Or, sorry,
on the
John,
Ballon
I've just found on the Ballon d'Or, the last player in 1996 came third to win the Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year, and that was Alan Shearer.
yes, I did. I knew it'd be Alan Shearer. I knew it'd be him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious, but apart from that, I can't think of anyone else. There's no way I can't think of anyone else because we haven't won them. We've been playing the Europe as much, but it is what it is. If Keane had them as defenders, I'll tell you what, off he'd be Harry's. I mean, we've been keeping it tight, and Philippe Albert would have been absolutely magnificent in today's team. Him and Botman would have been brilliant, by the way. And yeah, just to say as well about new contracts, that Kieran Trippier has been offered a new contract at Newcastle United. Callum Wilson signed his as well, apparently. I think that'd be brilliant. That's a backbone as well to the Newcastle team. You need a bit of British backbone as well in the team.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And I don't think Trippier would hesitate in signing a new deal anyway. So if that's the case, then yes, bring it on. Happy days, you know. Yeah, I would absolutely be happy with that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, 100%. We still want to wish Emil Kraft a speedy recovery. And look, at the end of the day, I like him. It's not my favourite player, I'm not going to lie, because of what he did at Bologna. But for Newcastle, credit to him, he's proved us wrong, and he looked decent in some games. And in other games, he loses concentration easily. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's getting there. I'm not saying he's world class. I'm not going to say outstanding, amazing, but he is getting there. Albert and P got better because they performed over 2 for a year at a good level, whereas Cher has been hit and miss throughout his time. Botman played well against 10 men. Obviously, Foxy might not be a Botman fan, but it is what it is. So it's all opinions there. I hope we get to see Botman score 5 scores this season with bullet headers. It's only a matter of time. I have to agree there. He will get goals, by the way. It's only a matter of time. The goals, my advice to you, Sven, the goals will come. Just don't put pressure on yourself. Simple as that.
Yeah, that just looking at Philippe Albert goal.
Yeah.
It was against Germany when Germany held on for a 3-2 win. In the World Cup.
Yes, I can remember that now. I can also remember him when he was dived against Leicester in his first game. He got booked for a dive when he went around the keeper and he just threw himself on the ground. He got booked for that as well in his very first game. And Keegan said to him, "Don't do it again." Yeah,
because the reason Keegan signed him was he watched him for 15 minutes in the World Cup and said, "I want him. He's a good player."
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think that's a cracking signing as well. I don't know how much he cost, something like 3 million or something like that. 3 million?
Something,
4 million?
Yeah, something silly like that. I mean,
whatever it is.
I mean, we've had some cracking players, we've had cracking players like Rob Lee, I mean, I think he was the first person in Europe in a European game to score a hat-trick ahead of us, remember, against Royal Antwerp when we won 5-0.
Yes, we did. And we were superb. We were superb that day. Rob Lee, outstanding in that game. And I like him. Man.
I laughed because I saw a snippet from Derek Wright and he said, he says, Rafa was very funny about players who are still come back from injury. And you'd be like, oh, are they all right to play? And well, they're about 25%. And Rafa would be like, well, they're fit enough to go on the bench. Then they're fit enough to start probably at 25% fitness. Like if they've got, if they're 75% fitness and they can, and they said when Rob Lee had an injury, because he had an injury on his right ankle, and he said, and Keegan said, when's Rob Lee due back, Derek? And Derek Wright says, well, I'll give him I would probably leave him off this week and possibly next week, so maybe he can come back, because he is getting there. And he said, what foot did you say that was? And Derek Wright says it's his right foot. Keegan says, oh, well, he can play tonight. He's got a left foot, hasn't he? He can use his left foot.
Yeah.
And he threw him in. And says you can play because you got a left foot.
Yeah. If you're fit enough, go for it, man.
That's
but these days,
though, isn't it?
Exactly. But these days now, they just hold them back, don't they? Before we wrap up, give us a scoreline, Tony, for Saturday's game.
3-0 Newcastle.
For Newcastle, I'll go 3-1. And even people, just off topic, just watch the overlap about the World Cup. It's a good watch. And you ain't watched it yet, well, I'll probably catch up with it by going on Macy's channel in the next 10 minutes or so. Guys, well, thanks so much indeed, Tony, for that, man, for the match preview. So it's a bit of a short one a day, but look, can you just tell us where we can find you, please, mate? And also, I'm going to bring up Sefton Max's sponsors as well.
So you can find me down there at Toney31. Give me a follow, and I'll follow you back. And Sefton, who's in the chat tonight, has got a new website which has been going about 4 weeks now. Northwest Mag, so it's www.northwestmags.com. Check it out. Great website. Forums on there where you can chat with other like-minded Newcastle fans and, you know, have your say. There's a gallery, so if you wanted to send any pics in from matches or where you're abroad with your Newcastle shirts not on, there's a little envelope icon. Just click on that and send Sefton your pictures and you'll put them in the gallery. There's all sorts on there. Just have a good look around and you'll find us on there amongst other people. But yeah, just go and have a look. It's a really good website, northwestmags.com. Do check it out. It's absolutely fantastic.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much. Do check out his channel, so like Tony says, and that is absolutely amazing. Great website. Do check it out, people. You'll not be disappointed. So if you'd like to find us on my channel, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. And if you like to super chat, they still be opening. Just click on super chat and give what you can via the thanks option. If you'd like to be a member, click on the join button as well. Again, the links are in there as well, so you can click us at any time, even though I'm not going to be here. Big up to Rico as well. Even to you, mate, will be okay. And so that's it then. I mean, obviously, Tony's going to do my channel, the warm-up show on Saturday. So he'll be covering my channel. Also, he'll be covering my match reaction show as well around about 6:30. So, you know, I'm going to leave him in charge of that as well. So you can bring on who you fancy bringing on. And if you like the video, like I said, you know exactly what to do. Like, subscribe. You know exactly what I do. I'll be up in Newcastle tomorrow. And if you see us on there, then you know what? I'll give you an autograph as well. And on Saturday, if you hit us up, I'll be happy to give you an autograph as well, wherever you want it. And a couple more as well. Great show, lads. Thank you, Sefton. And did John Toney see the threads from EasyJet? I did. Amazing. Right, Newcastle players and destinations. Yes, we did. I need to look into that as well. So, guys, thanks so much for coming on. Tony, I'll hang you back in a minute. And I'll see you guys. You see Tony tomorrow, no, Saturday. And then, you know, he'll be in charge, leaving capable hands to him and the match reactions as well. And have a fantastic time, and let's have a look. Mia Sincere, Penny Simon. Yeah. Get out, you. Take care, guys. Thank you, John. Bye to you, have a coffee, and to you as well. And you know what, Mason? We love you, Bo. We love you, but don't say United. Sell out the quiz. But thanks so much, and take care. Have a few days, and thanks so much for joining. It's a goodbye.
Goodbye.